Hi friends, in our time together today, I want us to talk about the time signature associated with the tune and what impact the time signature has on the tune. Michael, a great member of our community, has asked that we talk about this. Michael, thank you. Great prompt for a conversation. This is important for us to talk about. You know, tunes have so many different aspects that intertwine and mingle and marry together that create the overall feel of a tune. This is just a good thing for us to talk about, and so I really appreciate it. Some of the elements that go together are key signatures, the time signature, purpose, style, rhythm, dynamic, speed, to mention quite a few, but I don't want to get into all the nuances, and we'll talk about some of these in the coming weeks. But like, for example, the key signature is what key the tune is written in. And my Howard is a low D whistle. D refers to the key, and that means the sharps and flats. So if you play up the scale of D, you'll have to play a couple of sharps and flats, and they're specific ones. And that identifies the notes you're going to play. And different keys have different feels and moods to them. Time signature, hold that thought. Purpose of a tune is like a dance or a lament, a love song, telling a story, something else like that. Style, I think in Irish music, there's a reel, a jig, march, waltz, polka, hornpipe. Rhythm. Rhythm goes along with the style, but can be different. Rhythm refers to the flow of the tune. The time signature that we're about to get to refers to the cadence of the tune, and the rhythm is how you flow through the cadence in the tune. Dynamics refer to stuff like loud, soft, punchy, things like that. Gentle. Speed is, well, how fast or slowly are you playing the tune? These different components all work together and marry to create a tune, an instrumental piece, or a song, something sung with words. So when you look at a time signature, if you see it on the music, it's written with one number over another. And if you hear it, it's spoken of as two numbers back to back. So 4/4 time, for example, means that there are 4 beats to a measure and the quarter note gets 1 beat. 3/4, 3 beats to a measure, quarter note gets 1 beat, and that's over. Or the first note spoken is the number of beats per measure. And I'm gonna describe a few time signatures we encounter, but I don't want to get carried away and do too many because you probably don't want to sit through all of that. So the time signature by itself doesn't tell us everything. It doesn't tell us the rhythm. It doesn't tell us the dynamics and any of those things. The time signature talks about the cadence primarily. So when you're thinking about this and when we're thinking together, I want you to imagine you're out for a walk and you've got whatever it is you listen to music. Say you've got your AirPods in, for example. Make sure that they're on transparent so that you can hear oncoming traffic. But as you're walking, realize that the pace, the cadence of your walking is influenced strongly by the music to which you're listening. So there are different time signatures, and a number of Irish tune types are associated with time signatures because that creates the cadence that you want, or that the composer wanted to go with the tune that they're writing. So 4/4 time is called common time, and that's 4 beats per measure, and a quarter note gets 1 beat. And that's simply counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't matter how fast, doesn't matter how slow, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4. A march, for example, is played in 4/4 time. And so you're going to feel And you can do it 1, 2, 3, 4, or if it's going really fast, you might just count every other. So return from finger, for example. I'm going to tap my foot. Maybe you'll hear it. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A march. March is just falling into that very strict cadence there. But don't limit yourself to thinking that a march is the only style that fits into 4/4 time. For example, a reel fits into 4/4 time. Think of the mountain road. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. But with a reel, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so there you really just might want to count 1, 2. Okay. I'm cutting out a lot of the ornamentation just so that you're hearing the 1, 2, 3, 4 in there. So a march, a reel, or in 4/4. And then I want to talk about one other quick one that is also in 4/4 time, and it's called the hornpipe. Interestingly, the hornpipe is a good example of when the cadence of a tune marries with an interesting rhythm for the tune. So you're still going on the hornpipe, 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's got a bouncy feel to it. So if you played the hornpipe Harvest Home with no syncopation, as it's called, you might play. But that's not how a hornpipe is played. That is how 4/4 rhythm goes. But when you overlay a certain rhythmic style to it, you're going to get a hornpipe. And so that's why these things are so combined. So you're still counting 1, 2, 3, 4, but hornpipe's going to go. Okay, so you're actually getting that different syncopation, but still in 4/4 time. And so that's why I say that the time signature is a piece, but it's not the only piece or even the dominant piece, but it does dictate that flow and cadence of the tune. So let's think about just a couple others. You get out of the 4/4 time, you get into a polkas 2/4 time, like Dennis Murphy's polka. And so it's got a different feel, but it's still kind of a little square around the corners because it's 2/4 timing there. And so you get into things that are dominated by 3 beats per measure or sets of 3. So 3/4 is a waltz. So you're going to have 3 beats per measure. A quarter note still gets a beat, but it feels like it has a swing to it because it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. South Wind Waltz. So you got 1, 2, 3, 1. So see how the timing is dictating the flow of the cadence of the tune. If you are listening to a march when you're walking, you're going at a certain pace. You listen to a reel, still 4/4 time, but you're going to pick up your pace. You listen to a hornpipe, you're going to start skipping a little bit at a 4/4 pace. But then you get into a waltz and you might just start swaying as you go in listening to the tune, and it changes up some more too. You get like compound time signatures. 6/8 is a jig, and what's happening there is you get Each musical bite-sized piece, which is a measure, has 6 beats, and it's really, you count it 1, 2, because each one is 3 beats. And so that's how that's going to go. A slip jig, for example, is 9/8 time. And that's when you're squeezing 3 counts of 3 into a measure. So think of the slip jig, A Fig for a Kiss. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So one beat, beat, beat. Each individual beat is a triplet, and you're going to get that feel and the flow, and that's going to alter the pace with how you walk and your flow. And then you get into a slide. It's like going to be in 12/8, which is a little different yet. So you're getting 4 groups of 3, and so the time signature dictates what that cadence is like. Listen to some of these different styles, and it's going when you're walking, and it's going to alter how you walk, and that will help you get that. So more time signatures than this, and I didn't even give us a lot of examples on each because I fear you don't want to sit around all day listening to examples, but I wanted us to understand what that looks like. And there are more time signatures than these. But when you see a time signature or hear it referenced, remember the top number or the first number refers to how many beats there are in a measure. The bottom number says which type of note gets one of those beats. And then you combine that with the style, the speed, the rhythm, the purpose, then you get what the tune does. But the cadence of the tune is going to be dictated by that time signature. So that will really help. And so get that feel. Look at the time signature, realize, oh, this is 4/4. So it could be quick, it could be slow, but it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 3/4 time, must be a waltz, and so it's flowing. This is 6/8. It could be a jig, and it's running faster, but it's going to be dominated by triplets. And it's got, I'm going to count 1, 2, and there are a couple of groups of 3. And we get more complicated as we talk in more detail, but I'll save that complications for when I talk about, and I have talked about, individual tune types. So I hope this helps and doesn't cause more confusion. So a lot of factors that make up a tune. Time signature is one of them. Time signature primarily defining the cadence with which you're playing. Again, hope it's helpful. Until next time, my friends, this is Scott Shade. Happy whistling.